We've already had 2 races for the Toyotas so far. Will Brown has been the winner of both of them. Aaron Seaton actually crossed the line to win the first race, but was given a 5-second post-race penalty for a restart infringement. So it's Will Brown who starts from pole position. He is the points leader. Dylan Golson, hometown driver from Bathurst, alongside Tim Brook and Steve Johnson on the next row of the grid as we flick right on through 39 cars, and comfortably more than half the field have never raced here.
Yeah, that's to be expected. So many young sort of newcomers to motorsport in the field. But these guys are getting ready for the start. Green flag's out. Such an early start for a race, 7:30 a.m.
We're ready to go. This is race 12 of the championship. Alex, 100 points on the line. Will Brown from pole position. The Toyotas are off and racing. What is going to be a massive day at Mount Panorama. The pole man will lead us down to turn 1. 39 cars will go into Hell Corner. How many come out? I'll tell you in about 20 seconds' time as they climb them out for the first time of 6 laps. Will Brown's got the lead, and the really crucial part here is trying to break the slipstream. We've seen the guy that leads at turn 1 in the previous races not lead by the time they get to turn 2.
We saw some big slipstreaming yesterday, but Stevie Johnson's up into the top 3 for the first time this weekend. He was one of the guys who wasn't really able to make big use of the slipstream, but Will Brown, Dylan Goulson into the top 2, and they'll continue their fight from yesterday. I'd say Dylan showing fantastic pace yesterday in that race, really catching right up to Will Brown, probably 1 or 2 seconds back.
He's a local driver from here in Bathurst, so you can't get much more of a home race and a hometown driver than him. He's got a lot of support here, but it's Will Brown who leads the way. Stephen Johnson in 3rd spot, one of our 3 invited drivers. Leanne Tander and Glenn Seaton are also in the field this weekend. If anyone's still snoozing on top of Mount Panorama, they will not be anymore, because the first racing lap of the day is coming right at them. We jump on board with Stephen Johnson, podium finisher in the great race in 07, and on target here for a podium in the Toyotas, and he's keeping the pressure on the top 2 as they drop off Skyline for the first time. Great sight. This is exactly where this little Toyota 86 is right in its element.
Yeah, you see them slithering their way down through the mountain, but not only are they really exciting to watch, how good has the racing been so far all year, but even particularly this weekend with the long straights giving us those great slipstreaming battles.
Oh, Jake Klein was trying to get a move there done, but he couldn't quite. Slip down the inside on Damon Strong, went at the run to Forrest Albert. Look at the margin. Will Brown across the top of the hill has got rolling. Stephen Johnson's got a run on Dylan Golson. He's in the slipstream. He's popped out.
Golson's going to get the side draft back on Stevie.
Side by side to the chase. How brave do you want to get? Dylan's looking across going, are you going to do it? He's going to do it. He's going to stay around the outside, Stephen Johnson. He's going to get 2nd spot. He gets through, and now he's got to put his head down and chase Will Brown.
Fantastic. Good to see Stevie.
Whoa,
up in the top
Jake
3.
Klein off the road. Well, he's going to pop out the other side somewhere.
He might make some time up.
Oh,
he's had an exciting lap.
There's a couple all down the inside. Look at this. Glenn Seaton is among the pack. Ash Blewett there, the Kiwi Toyota 86 champion who's come to race with the Aussies this weekend. All that action. We've only done 1 lap. We jump aboard with Glenn Seaton, the Hall of Famer, right in the middle of the action.
Oh, missed a gear there.
We picked a bad time to jump on board, didn't we?
But he's got it back up the inside. He tried to anyway. Glenn pushing hard. The gear. Whoa!
Oh, Luke King spins on Mountain Straight, right in front of the pack. Leanne Tander avoids. Josh Hunter avoids. Duncan Harrison does a great job not to spin, and they all managed to carry on. I thought someone there was definitely not going to make it.
I'm very happy to see everyone shiny side up there, but Will Brown still in the lead. Johnson and Golson side by side. Plenty more slipstreaming, but Stevie Johnson had the line, put his car in the right spot there, and he'll lead over the top of the mountain. He'll have to try and get a break on Dylan Golson.
Jared Maggs has had a spin. That's at Hell Corner on the run up Mountain Straight. He's right in the pit exit road. Let's have a look on replay and see how Stephen Johnson's popped out of the slipstream on Conrod. Yeah, this was last lap around down Conrod. And now he's looking across, but look for Dylan to power back. The side draft that Alex mentioned really playing its part. And look for Dylan looking back across. You can't quite see.
Stevie will start getting one back on him now, you see. So right when you get your nose around their back wheel, you get a massive slipstream advantage in just about any car.
This is a replay of what was going on at turn 1. So Glenn Seaton was slow onto the run. There's Luke King all by himself, out in the grass. They've all missed him just. Wow. Well done.
That was exciting.
This is on board with Leanne Tander.
She'll probably have a good view of all this action.
Well, the thing is, you can't see Luke King, but there he is. He disappears again. He's there somewhere. Well driven. Oh, boy, Duncan Harrison, too. Poor Leanne had it all going on.
She had to weave her way through the action.
This is at the top of the mountain. Oh, Frank Mezzatesta's going in here. Bang. He had a decent-sized crash at Sydney Motorsport Park, and now he's had another one at the top of the hill.
You really saw the sort of shockwave go right through the chassis, right through the body on that impact there.
Oh, another one in the wall. This is down at Forest's Elbow. This is the Michael Fabry car, the Lismore Toyota entry, and that is in a really bad position. Oh boy, second place, Dylan Gulson off the road at the chase. All that good work for the weekend has been undone in an instant. He slipped right back now to position 8. Safety car boards and flags, you can see them on display in the background. We're going yellow because of that car being off at Forest's Elbow, so all that work from Will Brown comes to nothing, and we will slow on down as we start lap 3 of 6. And even while we're doing that, we've got drama. Luke King with a spin, and that's crabbing down the road. There's massive damage to his car. He's done, there's no doubt he's not going any further. Brad Glasson is the other car here that's involved. This car was actually involved in a heavy crash earlier in the weekend at the top of the mountain, and I'd say that's all happened under safety car. Alan Grice, 2-time Bathurst winner. His son Ben is in the Toyota field this weekend. He's seen it all, but
it's hanging down.
Yeah, there's a bit of a drama with this car, so it's not going to go much further. So safety car is out. Will Brown is your leader from Stephen Johnson and David Cedars, and you can see in the background there's Jared Maggs. He's still parked at pit exit coming up Mountain Straight. Replay here at the elbow. Oh dear, Kane Baxter Smith tried to go down the inside, wasn't in the gap, and head on in goes the number 24 Toyota.
That was a slightly strange one, but you can see he's trying to correct the slide and then overcorrected and didn't have his foot on the brake and went flying into that wall on the outside. And I'm just so happy he caught the tyre barrier there, because that would have, even though it was a big accident as it was, Dylan Golson down the inside.
Yeah, he was trying to grab second spot, but just in too deep.
Yeah, it was a big enough accident as it was, but without the tyre barrier there, it would have been very, very bad. So
this is on board with Stephen Johnson. There's Golson down the inside. There's no way he's making that corner without needing some green stuff to get through.
Steve didn't even have to alter his line.
No.
There. Beautiful.
Now, this is Luke King and Bradley Glasson, who goes through the grass, and they're going to make contact here. There's no doubt about it.
What was Glasson doing there? That was a bit strange, but how many 360s is that? I lost count.
I wasn't counting. We might have to start again. Medical team do a great job here at Mount Panorama, and indeed right throughout Australian motorsport. The car's rolling across the top of the hill under safety car if you've just joined us at Bathurst. And keeping an eagle eye on all of this is Greg Rust, who I saw him earlier in the crowd. I think he might still be there. Are you going to do anything today, Rusty, but sit back and watch this, or what?
No, I'm not doing anything. And you know what? I've forgotten to bring my pass over, so I reckon I'm in real trouble getting back to the other side. So good morning, everyone. Who's having a good morning here at the mountain? Noons, as I said before, you've been coming here for a long time. The crowd streaming through the gates today is huge. It's got a very special vibe about it. As you know, we're celebrating 10 years of the Peter Brock Trophy, and everywhere you go, we've got modern-day merchandise, like Mandy here, who's got her supporting Craig Lowndes and Stephen Richards, last year's winners. Brendan, immediately to my right, has got a, what are we running there? It's an 05 cap, but it's a VL Commodore. Just turn to our camera for us. You might be able to see a little bit of that. So lots of Brock merchandise, lots of old school stuff, modern day merch as well. And the passion, Noons, among these fans here on this day is just unbelievable. This is going to be huge here today.
What you can't see is that Rusty's got an esky strategically placed right behind his chair.
Hey, and why am I the only one here in a damn race suit? I look massively out of place.
Safety first, Greg. Safety first.
Get back to work.
Righto, we will. You have a good day. Great to have you part of our coverage of the Super Cheap Auto Bathurst 1000. He's not moving a muscle there, Alex. He's not moving for the day. He's in.
What about the poor bloke whose chair he's knocked off? He's standing up. He's standing up somewhere there very uncomfortably.
He can still hear us too.
You know what? I actually think is it your mum's seat, Brendan? And she's gone what?
Oh, that's really polite, Rusty.
Yeah, and we've just sent her a photo to say, by the way, someone's taken your seat.
All right, get back over to pit lane and get ready for the warm-up. Righto. Toyotas are on their way down Conrod Straight. We're on to safety car. It's actually a very big weekend for this series. Not only is it the first time that it's been to Mount Panorama, it's a return for Toyota to have a presence at Mount Panorama. And very importantly too, Tata-san, the chief engineer of the Toyota 86 project, is here this weekend, and he's going to wave the checkered flag on today's race, which is fantastic. He is a really big figure in the automotive industry because this car has created such a buzz since the road car version was launched in June 2012. It is a real cult car, and wouldn't it be great one day if we could have all these 86 racing series from around the world come together, a world final? That sounds good to me.
Absolutely. That's, I'm sure, something they're hoping for and aiming for as this sort of this worldwide racing series takes off.
We might jump on board with the man who's behind the wheel of car number 36. He is a veteran of this place. I'm not sure, does he have the sunnies on today? Because if the sunnies on, it's business day. Where are they, Glenn Seaton? You told me that it would be business day.
Actually, I'm back a few more spots today without the sunnies, so the sunnies are going to be on every race from now on.
Hey,
there's some cars going everywhere at the moment, isn't there? That one at turn 24's knocked around a bit out of the Forest Elbow.
Tell me, have you enjoyed the weekend? I know we did chat to you a bit earlier on in the weekend, but you can't help but not have fun at Bathurst no matter what you're steering. But these things are a pile of fun.
They're absolute, like I said the other day, they're fantastic across the top of the mountain because they handle so good. Yeah, any opportunity you get to come to this place, you grab it with open arms because it's such a fun place. There's nothing like it. Like I went to Laguna Seca recently over in America, and that was a fantastic, awesome track, but it still doesn't beat this place. This place has just got that character about it. The adrenaline that you get out of it across the top of the mountain is just awesome, and having the opportunity to race against all these young guys is really good too, because it's been great to be able to mentor these sort of guys over the weekend and give them a bit of a heads up on this place, because it can bite you pretty big, which we've just seen this morning. I
know that there was a bus tour actually earlier in the week where you took a lot of the younger drivers around to show them some of the hints and tips and tricks of this place. Did you leave any left up your sleeve, or do you let them all out?
Nah, let them all out. Like, gee, nerds, I'm 51. What have I got to hide?
51, you are not.
Yeah, sure. Look, baby face. Doesn't look 51, does it?
Haven't changed a bit, my friend.
I'll tell you what, inside it feels like 51, though.
You'll be right. You'll be right.
I'll tell you what, we just, there's some stuff going on, just going up Mountain Straight. A couple just got to run on me because there's a couple of spins and you got to back off so you don't run into them. And I'll tell you what, some of these young drivers up in front of me in the past me actually did a really good job. They drove around the outside of me in turn 2. They got the run up on me up to the cutting, and it's great to see that those young guys having a good go like that and learning the racecraft through these cars. It's really good. It's
great to have you part of the series. We'll get out of your ear, get yourself ready for the restart. There he is, Glenn Seaton, the Hall of Famer, the 26th-time Bathurst 1000 starter, the 3-time runner-up. And there is Tata-san, who is going to wave the checkered flag, the chief engineer of the 86. It's been fantastic to have him here this weekend in the paddock and seeing his car take on our mountain. Phil Harrison there, who's been involved with the series and been involved in Aussie motor racing for a very long time. And Tata-san's very, very happy to see these cars here at Mount Panorama, and we look forward to seeing him in a couple of laps' time. In fact, Will Brown would love to see him in a few laps' time, because it means he's going to see him first, because he's waving the checkered flag to finish this race, which is still under safety car here at Mount Panorama. Will Brown, the leader, from Stephen Johnson, David Cedars. Now, they've got to be very careful on the restart, because earlier in the weekend, Aaron Seaton was the leader on a restart with a lap to go, but went too early and was given a 5-second time penalty that gave the win to Will Brown. So that will be on Will's mind as he gets ready to take up the lead from the start from the front of the pack.
Yeah, and look, the rule is pretty simple these days. Once the safety car takes off, and he'll do that around the area of the chase at the end of Conrod Straight, you have to maintain the speed that he was going, which will be around 80 k's. And then as soon as they wave there, so lights are out now, so he's doing exactly that. Now Will Brown has to maintain 80 Ks, and as soon as they wave the green flags, and his team will tell him over the radio too, then he can go. The mistake Aaron made the other day was he went before the green flags have been waved.
So keep an eye on how this all unfolds. We are going to get a restart here at Mount Panorama. Can Will Brown clean sweep the weekend and extend his lead in the Toyota 86 Racing Series? Remember, there's a prize pool of $125,000, 50 grand cash to the winner at the end of this series. There's one more weekend of racing at Sydney Olympic Park at the start of December. Damon Strongman with that flapping bonnet is going to have to, he's going to have to peel off and get that sorted out. Will Brown has been very steady. There's a few impatient ones in the background. Nick Filippetto is off the road. Ben Bryce is out of line. They didn't do a very good job with that because the front runners were not going. They are now. Will Brown leads us back to the control line. Stephen Johnson will start the chase. David Cedars next. Tim Brook, Cam Hill, Aaron Seaton, John McCorkingdale, and Dylan Golson sits in P8 as they climb the mountain one more time.
And what can Stevie Johnson do? He's the first time we've seen him up in the top 2 this weekend. We'll see if he can get a slipstream off Will Brown. He's got 2 laps to try and do something with Will Brown. It would be awesome to see Stevie get up the front.
We've not seen an invited driver claim a race win in this series yet, but Stephen Johnson is very close here. They climb through Blundstone Bend. And the little 86 is really screaming hard. They're punching about 180 kilowatts at 7,500 RPM. They've got a 6-speed gearbox. We've got them on a groove Dunlop tyre.
Saw Steve Johnson get Cam Hill getting really sideways into the cutting. It's Steve Johnson getting a great run up the hill, and he's all over the back of Will Brown as they head up through Reed Park and down to the Great. He is all over the back, and it's very difficult to drive that closely over the top of the mountain. There's nothing in it.
Stephen Johnson is putting the pressure on young Will Brown, who's from Toowoomba. He's up from Will Power country. He's been a bit of a star in open wheelers in Formula Ford and Formula 4, and has adapted really well to the Toyotas. He had his first taste recently of a supercar in one of Lucas Dumbrell Motorsports machines, and he's fine. He's been really solid off the top of the hill. That's where he's been making his margin, and he's got himself a car length or so on Johnson this time around.
He's got himself some safety from an attack at Forest Elbow by pushing extra hard over Skyline and getting 2 or 3 car lengths on Steve Johnson. We'll see what Stevie can do with the toe down Comrod, but Will Brown sort of got that 4 or 5 car lengths gap, which gives him a little bit of safety here. On board with Stevie Johnson, always looking nice and relaxed. He's on the radio, see, with his right thumb pressing the radio button, having a chat. Will Brown weaving from left to right to try and break that toe.
Just grabbing 6th gear as they get to the chase.
He's going to be too far back to do anything, but closing up under brakes. Dave Cedars and Tim Brook following as well. Brook closing right onto the back of Dave Cedars.
Brown took heaps of curb on the turn in at the chase, Alex, and that's going to give Stephen a chance, and Will knows it too. He's got to cover. Down at Murray's Corner, Cedars and Brook are right with them both as well. There is 1 lap left for Stephen Johnson to get this done. He is right in the perfect spot. Does he have a lunge at Hell Corner?
You know, Steve's doing the right thing too. He knows he's an invited guest driver, so he's not going to do anything stupid. He's not really contesting he's not contesting the championship. He's not racing for points, so he's just trying to have a good time and race nice and cleanly with these guys. But he's right behind Will Brown. I hope he has a go. He hasn't really shown his cards yet, but he's right there and has the pace to not only go with Will Brown, but pressure him right to the end.
Up Mountain Straight for the final time. Where is he going to play his hand while we talk about what cards he's got? And if he plays a hand, he needs to be very authoritative, because David Cedars is ready and waiting to fill any gaps. Will Brown went really wide on the exit of Blundstone Bend. Cameron Hill now has joined the pack. It's a 5-way fight for the run up to the podium positions for the final time through the cutting. And again, Will Brown is able to just squeeze margin from here to the elbow. He's been the fastest in the field.
Yeah, absolutely. Stevie Johnson was all over the back of him at this point on the track last lap, but as soon as they got the Skyline, which is probably the trickiest, scariest place on the track, Will Brown really came into his own. But this is the strongest we've seen Steve Johnson run all year. This is the first time we've seen him right up the front challenging for a win. not only sitting in the top 3, but having the pace to put pressure on the leader.
And he's been a really great addition. He's been a fantastic ambassador for the category, a great help to the young drivers.
Stevie pushing a bit harder this lap. He didn't want to lose that edge like he did last lap. So he's probably a good 2 or 3 car lengths closer than he was the last lap.
Off the top for the final time. What a way to start a massive Sunday at the Super Cheap Auto 1000. Cameron Crick is in the concrete. That is on the run towards the dipper, and that's heavy damage. He's gone in really hard. Cameron's the son of Rodney Crick, the late great super truck champion who raced in the Bathurst 1000 in the 90s in the V8 era. Final time down Conrod, though. What can Stephen Johnson do? I don't think he's close enough here. He needs Will Brown to make a mistake.
Here he comes with the slipstream. Will Brown was weaving Formula Ford style. Stevie Johnson out-braking on the outside. Brown covers.
How deep does Brown go? Can Johnson get a run to the final corner? There's a rub on the exit of the chase. David Cedars is lined up. Tim Brook is lined up. Cameron Hill wants a piece of them all. Brown will park it down the inside. They will only beat him if they do something crazy. He's going to
round the outside of all of them.
Tim Brook is going to go round the outside. Tarnason has the flag. Will Brown has the win. Stunning stuff. And how about this? The top 6 cars cross the line within 1 second of one another. That is impressive.
That was very impressive. What a great last lap. Unfortunately, we had 1 car in the wall in that last lap, but thank God they all got to finish under green flag conditions. There wasn't another safety car. What a fantastic...
Cameron Crick locked it up, bounced off the tyre wall and then hit the concrete.
Which is a bit odd. The cars have ABS, I think. So a little bit of a drama there, maybe, with the cars getting airborne over the top of the hill.
He just hit that wall on an angle that bounced him into the outside wall.
This is Hunter down the outside.
Boy.
He was lucky not to end up in the gravel.
Came back to Smith did, but had enough momentum to take him all the way to the fence, bounced off, kept going, and finished 21st for all of his troubles there at the end. But what a way to start your Sunday here at Mount Panorama. Will Brown, the series leader, will have a nice margin to take to the final round in Sydney. He clean sweeps the weekend. Well done, Stephen Johnson on the podium from Cedars, Brook and Hill. Aaron Seaton next from Dylan Golson. Ash Blewett, the Kiwi. Jay Klein, Glenn Seaton in the top 10. Leanne Tander moved forward to finish position 11. She made up 6 spots in 6 laps. Ben Grice, 15th. From 34th on the grid. That's quite a fight back. Daniel Rainui in position 30, I should say, with a massive field of Toyota 86s taking them out and a few retirements, a couple of cars that need some work done on them before the next round in Sydney in December.